Well, that was a wonderful presentation from Mr. Arun Gopalaswamy. Now, to explore what happens when we reach that run stage and unleash multi agent systems on the factory floor, our second speaker, Mr. Ramesh Dham, will dive into beyond automation to autonomous, the future of industrial agentic enterprises. So,
Yeah, good evening, everyone. So, good like people are staying here back till the late evening. I'm Ramesh Dham. You can remember me after 4 Char Dham Yatra. So, I'm the fifth Dham. So, I'm from Coromandel International. I'm leading digital transformation in Coromandel International. So, just to give you like a little bit like overview of our company, we are a part of Murugappa Group. So, Murugappa Group is about like $11 billion entire group, and we are a part of one largest part of Murugappa Group, and we have around 18 manufacturing plant across India, and we are having some more system like we have 1300 stores also for selling our own products and other products also. We have invested lot on technologies like drone and robots. So we majorly call ourselves as a ag tech company. So we want to be as a company which is more rely on the technology and give the benefit to farmer to increase their yield. So now, before talking about this AI and the agentic system, the multi-agent system, are we ready for the AI? What are the things required before going towards the agentic AI? So when we call manufacturing digital transformation, so what does it come in our mind? Like what exactly digital transformation is? Digital transformation is. Is it only a process control? Is it only a maintenance or availability of the plant? So when we think about the digital transformation, the thing comes in our mind, which are not only the plant maintenance, not only the process control, process optimization, but the entire supply chain. The raw material which is coming into the factory, the FG which is going out of the plant, the entire ecosystem, the safety of the plant. So all these things should give all their data to your core systems. So the system should work in a way like all the edge platform or the edge application should give the required data to your core system. And when your core system with a definite master data management system is ready, then only you can say we are ready for the AI. Before data, if data is not good, so AI will not give you the good answer. It may give the wrong answer, and that may disturb your plant further. So before getting that, so as you see, like there are multiple core platform I have shown here. So for process optimization, for a real-time data, we have Aveva Pi system. For process optimization, we have Aveva Advanced Analytics. For asset reliability, there are three core systems we have for asset reliability. One is the IIoT sensors that we put on all the machines. There are thousands of sensors in our 18 manufacturing plants that are giving real-time data, like all the real-time data, vibration, acoustic, and temperature. Then we have CMMS system, which is giving all the preventive maintenance schedule and reactive breakdown. If it is occurring in the plant, it will create a work order and it will come to the centralized system. Then we have risk-based inspection, RBI, for the non-rotating equipment. We check like critical score, like is it going to fail? Because if rotating equipment is running and tank or the pipe if fails, then also the plant will stop. So there are three core systems for the maintenance. We integrated together for making a asset reliability platform. Then we have a digital safety platform, which is like all the EHS kind of system, like concern reporting, action tracking system. All these system are comes on under one platform, and we have digital safety with the AI, which is in all the factory. We have placed the edge computing system which is keep on monitoring which person is going without helmet, which person is working without safety gloves if required in that particular area. So all these 16 to 17 use cases that we have put it into that edge computer, and that gives us alert for the safety in the plant. So that is safety. And then most important, because you are working on the data, entire OT data, we have to monitor whether it is properly flowing through the system, because right now it is going to connect with the IT system also. So we have a complete OT monitoring system which is giving a very low level alert. Even though if somebody in a plant, like I was discussing yesterday, more of the alerts are coming from the auto manual. So what does it mean? If somebody PID controller, if somebody put from auto to manual, it generate one alert, it is going to our SIM. So at SIM, the person are monitoring, the OT SOC where we have, person are monitoring and they can tell in this particular plant, somebody changed the process control from auto to manual. So these kind of alert are also coming in our OT monitoring. And then we have a fully automatic supply chain system for the inbound and outbound system. So these are the few platform. So we have started our journey in 2021, 2022, and we started with raw material automation, FG automation, the real-time processing. All this system we have started until 24, 25. In the 5 year, like next year we are going to complete this, and next year our next 5 year journey will start. The long-term planning will start. So till now we have achieved till some of the GenAI bots and the plant level COE. So what is plant level COE? I will come to this later. So before that, I want to show how this is possible. Okay, let me just go back because plant level COE I think I have taken later. So what I was saying, if we have all these platform, so we can say we are ready for the AI. So with the help of all these platform, we have made the descriptive platform. The descriptive platform we have categorized into two set of platforms. One is the business KPI platform, one is the operational KPI platform. In the operational KPI platform, we have taken all the operational data KPIs, and that we have made a persona based dashboards. So one dashboard is say for the unit head, then process head dashboard, then maintenance head dashboard. So all these persona based dashboards we have given to the operational people. Then comes to the business KPI, like they want to know what was my production, is it equal to the budget production, it is equal to what is my target for this month, whether we are going to achieve the target or not. All these business KPI we have taken into another set of KPI dashboards. So all these descriptive KPI we have taken as an analytical platform, and then we have developed some of the GenAI solution and AI ML use cases. Like I told, process optimization, we are using one no-code platform. On that, we have made about 16 to 17 ML use cases where we are keep on predicting the quality output or the production output. So these we generally called as a soft sensor. So these soft sensor, before getting the lab result from the plant or from the lab, plant people before that can take like, okay, every 10 minutes, they are keep on getting the output. This may be the predictive output when you will get from the lab. So this is how we are doing all these things. And we are using some of the in-app analytics also. Like some of our application, like Gensuit is giving their own risk point for all the critical inputs that we are getting from the plant. So some of the application are giving the in-app application. So these are the level we have achieved till now. And now we are going for the AI assisted direction, decision making, and then we'll go for the next 5 year, we will go for the operation, autonomous operation. But this was not simple. In 2021, when we started, entire system was manual. We had only Excel sheet. In the maintenance, we didn't have any system. We were not using the SAP PM maintenance also. So we were all using the SAP like Excel system. So then we converted all the system on the basis of one particular thing, like 3D. 3D concept we have used. The 3D concept is like data at source. We collected data at source. We made the application to collect the data from the edge. So from where data is generating, we are capturing at that point itself. So the 3D is 1D is data at source. The second is dematerialization. Convert every paperwork into the digital system. So if there is a paper permission, or if there is a paper in a raw material input, so we converted entire system into the digital system, removed paper from our system. So the third thing is database. So data capture at source, dematerialization and database. Every input, if it is going to the database, then only it can be used for the analytics. So this is what we have done. And now we have made, like for the operation, we have made a centralized platform, CRISPR. So CRISP we have made 2 years before. CRISP is called Coromandel Real-Time Information System Portal. So when we made CRISP for the fertilizer plant, after that we thought like, okay, we have another plants also, we should deploy there also, and we make it as an enterprise release. So we called our management, CRISP is getting CRISPR. So now it is CRISPR is a standard platform that we are using, Coromandel Real-Time Information System Portal Enterprise Release. So this is a major platform for the operational technology. So then we have taken a one next step. We have taken on the top of CRISPR, we have taken a no-code platform where we are taking all the data of CRISPR and making all the ML functions, all the modeling we are doing. And then, because there is one more practical problem, if we keep on putting, say operator is maintaining their DCS data. So if they are maintaining the DCS and you are saying now you have one more screen as a CRISPR screen. So okay, they will manage in few years or few months, like okay, they have to see all the KPI on a CRISPR screen. But now if you tell them there is a third screen where the recommendation will come, you have to see on the third screen, then come to the second screen, see the KPI, then manage on the operation, your DCS system, then they will not allow you to do so. So then what we have done, we have taken back the recommendation again on the CRISPR system. Any data that we are going to analyze either on Azure or on a AAA platform, that output of that we are getting back into the system. Now operator will have only two systems. One is the core DCS and the second is the CRISPR platform that we are running across the plants. So this is what we are talking about. So it was not, when we started this journey, we have given this concept of citizen developer to our company. We told we should not depend upon all the consultants. If they come here and they will do a very good job because they are good into that. If they do very good job and after going the consultant, we are still left with the system that they have made for us. So we should develop our center of excellence and we should invest on the people to give them training of AI, ML, data science and everything. Then we started this center of excellence. It is in the Vizag plant. Now we have replicated this center of excellence in all the BUs. Now we have 5 center of excellence for 5 different BUs in the Coromandel. So there we have about 27 people around the company. They are working day in, day out for only for AI, ML, all the maintenance, availability system. So few of my team member, process analysts and data scientists are sitting here also. So they are the key people. They are doing all day-to-day job of analytics. So now, if we have done everything, we reach to a level, why we want like system to be autonomous. So this is a need of today. Automation at this level is not enough. So technology is moving very fast. So if people like somebody, my fellow presenter, they have told if companies are not moving in a direction of AI, if they are not cope up with AI, around 40% of the company will vanish in next 10 years. So this is why we thought like, okay, we should also go beyond the automation and look forward for the autonomous operation. So then we started like, okay, IIoT, PLC, CRISPR, CMMS, RMMS, GenSuite, these all platform we have. We moved to Aveva Advanced Analytics. Then after that, we moved to the Process AI, Asset AI, and Video AI. Now we are making another set of jump and we are making agents in supply chain. We are making agents in the maintenance and we are making agent in the process controls. And after that, definitely we will go for the autonomous operation, but human approval is required before the closed loop execution. So how to build that? Like how we have started this ecosystem. So right now, if somebody has started the making the agents, so if somebody has started the making agent, okay, so I will give you two ways how to start making the ecosystem of the AI agents. So one system is by making the MCP agents. So MCP, like through MCP, not MCP agent, through MCP. So uh, we have, as I told you, we have Aveva Advanced Analytics and Aveva Pi system. So like Aveva Pi system, all the platform, if you talk about IP21 or if you talk about the SAP or we talk about any of the major platform, they have their MCP servers. So if we take the data through API and if we are making an agent in any of the frameworks, say if you are making a agent in the LangGraph or in the OpenAI SDK or in the CrewAI, every platform is having their own coding. So if you taking only through API and if you have say, I will talk about somebody shown the marine traffic system for the autonomous system. So they have multiple API. Some APIs are coming from marine traffic, some traffic API are coming from weather stations. So all these API, 10 to 12 API, if you have to code into your system, into your agent, you have to write the definite code. So if you are making in OpenAI SDK, you will write some code. And maybe you may not like after 1 year or 2 year, or maybe the monetary effect of that particular SDK may be higher. So you want to go, no, I will change my system from OpenAI to LangGraph. So now again, you have to write the entire API code in the LangGraph itself. So what is the best way? You make the MCP server in the source system, make the function of API call in the source system itself. So whenever you are changing your framework, because right now technology is changing so fast. And when we were thinking like, okay, the OpenAI SDK is the best in the market, again, when LangGraph comes, then we think, oh no, we have taken a wrong decision. We have to change the framework. But if you change the framework, if you have right now 80 or 90 agent or maybe thousands of agents working, you cannot code again. You have to depend upon the OpenAI SDK only. I'm not against Open SDK. It is OpenAI SDK is very good in agent making. But still I'm saying the process should be, you should have in your AI app or your AI agent, the MCP client should be there in that AI application or AI agent. It should talk to the client, MCP client should talk to the MCP server. And MCP server should have all the functions. Say right now we have Aveva MCP server. In Aveva MCP server, there are 23 functions they have written. We call it as a call. So if we connect the MCP client of our application with the Aveva MCP server, whenever we are calling, so we only have to connect our client to the MCP server. Rest of the thing, MCP server will do itself. So if we are changing the platform, we just need like, okay, the new MCP server will come. It will just connect to the MCP server. New client will talk to the next MCP server. Rest all the communication between the API and the MCP server will remain same. So this is how you can make, and you can make the specialized agent like we have made anomaly detection agent, root cause analysis agent, spare part availability agent. Spare part availability agent is a very small agent. If you are planning for maintenance, like ours, we have a continuous company. So we have to plan the shutdown. So we are doing the annual shutdown for 1 month or maybe sometime 45 days. So in that particular time, we want to assure like our spare part for that particular maintenance should be available. So what we generally do, we plan it in a planning software and give the output of that planning software to AI agent. AI agent keep on checking and monitoring the spare part, and if we have planned for particular maintenance and we consume that spare part before the shutdown, it will give immediately alert and raise a PR for that particular spare part so that it will be available for the shutdown itself. So these are the agent and work order recommendation agent and document search. Document search is very useful. Right now we are doing for like our legal system, we are doing for our HR system, we are doing for our SOP and manual system. So this is how we have made the search engine as a with the NLP search. So generally, just for an overview, how this MCP works, the MCP works on the JSON RPC 2.0. Whenever you, any of your application will call the MCP server, the request goes through JSON RPC 2.0. It will go to the MCP agent, and that MCP agent can call any with link with the any of the other MCP agents also. It is not like one MCP client can talk to one MCP server only. It can talk to a VevaPi MCP, it can talk to SAP MCP, it can talk to any SCADA MCP. If that particular SCADA don't have MCP server, we can make our own MCP server for that particular SCADA. Generally, what MCP server does, it makes some function calls and store into the MCP server. So this is how you can use the MCP server. Now the second architecture is, second approach or ecosystem, you can do through data oops layer. So data oops layer, my fellow presentation, Mr. Mishra, they have shown Cognite. So that is actually a data oops layer. So in that data oops layer, they have a graph database, semantic layer and ontology of entire system. They have the AI ML engine also into that. So if you have all set of data, SAP data, you have a process data, you have EMS data, you have all the set of data, you can take into the one data oops layer and make a graph DB of that. By using that graph and data oops layer, you can make a orchestration platform, and on the top of that platform, you can make the agent. So because all the data will reside into one graph platform, so you need not to have multiple MCP calls with the multiple systems. So one system will have all the input and you can make that. So anyhow, I have only 30 seconds left. So now within a few seconds, only 37 seconds, I will show you 162 agent that we have foresee or some of them we have made, but we planned in next few years, we are going to have multiple agents. So there are 162 agents that we have defined. So there are agents for operation, maintenance, supply chain, sales and marketing, finance and risk, HES, and we have a corporate enterprise system agents. So these all entire system will work on the one platform where we are getting all the data. So there are 28 agents of manufacturing. We have optimization agent, quality agent, safety guardian agent. So multiple agents are there. Then we have 25 supply chain agents, demand forecasting agent, supply planning agent, logistic transport agent. So every agent has a defined task, and every agent is able to do one specific work. It is not like because what happened, what management or before making the agent, company or person think one agent will be able to do everything. So one agent we will make for the supply chain, and that supply chain agent will do everything. It is not so. For every small step, you have to make the agent. So there are sales and marketing 22 agents. There are finance AI agent 18 agents. There are sourcing and procurement agents. There are because we are a agri company, so we have some agents for the agronomy also. And we have a planning and scheduling agent, and we have a cross-functional agent. So these 162 agents we have foresee like we will make in the next couple of years. Few of them we have already made. And what is required to make these agents? Like you have a technical infrastructure ready with you. So if you are, as I earlier said, are you ready with the AI? So if ready for the AI, if you have all this system and technical infrastructure, data foundation, and the technical skills, talent and skill if you have, and you have, after that, you should, while after making all the agent, you should make more emphasis on governing the ethics. Because one agent, if it is started taking data which is not, it should not take, then you should have a kill switch of that agent at a centralized level. So maybe because AI is going very fast, so we don't know when AI agent will start taking the authorization of the other system and taking the data from the other system which is not authorized for that particular agent. So we should have a kill switch also for the agent, and ethics and governance should be very particular for the agentic system. And we should have the change management. People should adopt these technologies. When they are adopting, then only it will be successful. So that is all from my side. Thank you very much.